And now, from Glasgow.
So hello there, welcome to stage video 3 of the bus, and we are doing stage 8 today. It's only one stage we're going to do because of the length involved. Most of this stage is going to be waiting. So what we do is first of all we need a new sprue today. This is the second sprue 5700-2, and we're going to be needing these pieces there that I've already cut out. Done it in exactly the same way as I normally do, which is get our rounded blade, and we are just cutting using a rocking motion. Each of these are held in by two nubs. And then what I've done is I've just given them a little stand, which I'll explain how I do. And then because we know from stage 8 that they are going into there, they're going to be forming some supports for a seat. So I've done a little dry fit, as you just saw me do, and then I've just placed them where they're going to go. Now I did have one problem when I cut them out. This particular one, the first layer of the plywood actually snapped off. So what I did is I put a little bit of wood glue on, and I've done a little repair. You can just see the joint mark there. It's not a major problem. So this is the one that I need to prepare today. And then the first thing I'm just going to do is I'm just going to scrape off just a little tiny bit of squeeze out. I would use a file, but this is a bit of a rounded area, so I'm just going to trim it around there. Right, so once that's done, we want to just remove the sprue nubs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to file with the piece. So I'm going to come downwards. I'm going to hold it about 45-degree angle, and as you can see, I'm just going to rub it until the whole lot starts to go white. Remember, these have all been laser cut, so they've got some brown burn marks on them, and we just give it a rub. And I always say the ultimate test when you're sanding is to use your finger, and that's lovely and smooth. And then we have another sprue nub there, which we're just going to give that a gentle rub. I'm just using an emery board, but you can use any sandpaper that you have. This is actually quite rough, and then I'm just going to go over it roughly. And then what we'll do is we will dry fit that in there like so. And look at that, first time of asking, that's gone in. It's a little bit off actually, so that's quite interesting because all these others go in rather nicely. So this is what they will look like when they're all dry fitted. So as you can see there, that one goes in really flush. This one has a little bit of a gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to take a little bit off the bottom, just a couple of degrees, and I'm just going to keep filing that at an angle. It's quite interesting because these, in the dry fit off camera, all 5 of these pieces did fit exactly perfect. This is the only one. There we go. So we've got it now, so it goes fairly flush. You can see it's not exact down at the bottom. It's so you have a choice there. You can either go with that, or we can just take a little bit off here. I suspect it's not proper because this is the piece that did break. So we'll just file that. and we have an invader, and that's a bit of an improvement there. Okay, so let me just take a quick cut. Now to finish this off, we want to glue these in, and then that's the end of the stage. However, stage 9 next week will just be filing, and then we'll be adding the tops of the seats. So what I want to do is I want to move over to this sprue. Now this sprue is 57 treble O stroke 4. It's quite interesting, they've listed these sprues dash 3, then dash 2, then dash 4, and then on page 2 you've got dash 1. So they're not listed in order, but I'm calling this the third sprue, and this is part 4. Now this is a slightly different wood. I'm guessing that's because they're going to be varnished, so they want that nice colour of the varnish, and we want these two pieces here. Both of these are called piece 7. We aren't going to glue these in, but I just want them now so that I can just use them for test fitting purposes. So I'll just chop these off using our usual method. Okay, so I was just doing a little test fit on these, and a couple of things I've noticed. First of all, you don't need to cut these out and do a test fit. I've already cut them out now and I've cleaned them up, but it's absolutely fine. The second thing I noticed is I actually had this wool there on the wrong way round. It's very difficult to spot on the instructions. Let me bring the instructions up again. And you'll see that it's very difficult to spot. This wool was actually on correct, and you'll see that you need to have this upper tab quite close to the wool. If you have it the wrong way round, it will still fit, and these tabs will both fit in properly, but this tab there will be in a slightly different position. Let's say the second thing I've noticed, and I did cut all of this out, I've made a little bit of a mess of it. I have just wrecked that a little bit. You can't really see it, but it will need some filler. Thankfully this is going to be painted over, not varnished, so that's absolutely fine. Now this glue is still a little dry, but what I've then done, the instructions are a little bit difficult to spot. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be popping these supports in. I've actually lost the order of the supports, so I will double check before I go. And then this is going to come in like so, and I can see now it's actually not going to fit properly. That isn't a problem, that's why we have nail files. But as you can see, it's not actually... because you need to file this later on, you need to make sure where the supports are. So that's fine. So this doesn't need to be dry fitted, so it doesn't need to be cut off. So if anything, it'll benefit you actually saving this to be cut off once it's needed. Not a major problem, I'll keep that to one side. So guys, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fit all of these little pieces. So we're going back to stage 8 now, proper. And I'm going to pop all of these in, and I just want to make sure they all fit properly, which they do. And what you want to do is you want that piece of support resting against the side wall. I may use clamps on this side. I'll try to use clamps on this side. So what I'll do is I'll take these off now. So these all fit nicely, and what I'm going to do is, starting with this one, so I have some glue. I always like to put my glue onto a piece of scrap plastic. Help if I open the nozzle, won't it? So glue onto a piece of scrap plastic, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to apply glue along all the edges that are going to touch. which is the side there, and then this little joint in there, and then just a tiny touch on the bottom. This doesn't have to be neat, guys, because it's not going to be seen. This is just going to add a little bit of support for the seats, and we can pop that one in there and just give that a little push. That one you could actually apply a bit of glue along the side as well to stick it to that wall. In fact, you know what, I'm just going to apply a little bit in there. There we go. And then you can butt that one up against this wall there. And then likewise this bottom one, yep, that can be butted against the side. So what we'll do is we will apply glue along there, along the little joint at the bottom, and then on the side, and then just a little bit along the side surface where it's going to meet against the wall. And then that one can go in there like so. Excellent. And then the third one, we're only going to apply glue against the back wall and against the joint, and then a little bit at the bottom. We're not going to apply along the sides because it's not going to make any contact. And then that can go in place there. Now what I'm going to do is I want to just test that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a small clamp to it very carefully, and this is just going to tell us, can we apply clamps? Yes, we can. So wonderful. So what I'm going to do now, because this wall is still dry, still a little bit wet, I want to just clamp it, and hopefully it will get everything in the correct position. So exactly the same as before, we're going to apply glue along the edge there, okay, a little bit on the tab there, and I think what I'll do is for the last one I'll just bring that camera view and I'll just really zoom it in. So I'm just going to apply glue along the side there, and then we can just pop that in like so. So we're gluing that to the side and to the back there. Okay, for the second, I'll do the bottom one next. No, I'll do the middle one next. So we're just going to apply a bit of glue just along where the joints are, a little tiny bit at the bottom, and we aren't going to apply any on the side because there will be no contact on the side. There we go, nice and easy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in so you can get a better view, and we're going to be applying the glue there. We're going to be applying it there, and so apply a little bit of glue along there like so, and then a little bit along the bottom. Okay, and then we'll apply some on the face there, and that's because this will be making contact with that wall there. That can go in, excuse my fingers guys, make sure that goes in the hole there. Lovely job. So let's clamp that down. Let's clamp this one to the wall, make sure that gets pushed back as far back as it can. Okay, you might catch me using different size clamps. I'm just picking clamps that I've got. So this one isn't going to clamp to the back wall, so I might try using a larger clamp. Yep, okay, so push that, butt that against the wall as much as we can, just get our clamp in there, and then Yeah, just need a larger clamp on this front one. It's just struggling with the reach. Okay, and then this one, we're going to clamp that to the back wall. Now for the last two, I'm going to suggest we use 2 small clamps because we don't want quite so much strength. Let me just zoom out a bit. Okay, and then what we're going to try and do, very, very gently, if it looks like there's going to be any pressure, we want to remove the clamps. There we go. So I'm actually bringing that clamp all the way in, and I'm using the pressure there, not the pressure on the ends. And then the same on there, and that's just going to bring those clamps in. It's just going to help me get a nice joint there. Right guys, so that is stage 8. I think what we will do is on the next stage, we might get quite a few stages done. We'll see how it goes. So stage 9 is a sanding stage. Stage 10 will be adding these. Stage 11 will be adding the side pieces, and then we'll probably add the driver's seat. I will see how it goes. But yeah, so if you didn't make a mistake like I did, you will actually get that done quite quickly, which is quite nice. I've got a little crack there, so whether that's because I'm a beginner and I've just mishandled it, I don't really know. Maybe I've gone a little bit too advanced for myself, don't know. Or if it's just that's how it goes. There we go. Shouldn't be a problem, guys. Right, okay, so guys, that's it for this stage. All I can do now is let that dry, and then on the next video we'll get the sanding sticks out. So I hope you have a good week, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.